One of the biggest challenges you may face on your farm this year is if you don't get a pre-emerge herbicide down in soybeans. This is incredibly important if you're planting Roundup crops and you have Roundup resistant weeds.
Well, in some areas of the country, the universities will advise you, if you don't have your pre down, don't plant yet. Wait until you get that pre on, and maybe even wait until you get a rain on that pre just to make sure it works. That's how difficult it is to control a lot of these tough Roundup resistant and ALS resistant broadleaf weeds that we're gonna have to face in soybeans later on down the road. So we think about it, wow, okay, I took a chance, I planted, and then all of a sudden it rained, or the beans popped up out of the ground the next day and I didn't get my pre on. There are actually some residual herbicide options that you could use to fight tough weeds like pigweed.
Yes, so option one for us is always going to be use a pre-emerge herbicide. Use a pre-emerge herbicide.
Not just one.
Right, use a pre-emerge herbicide. We'd prefer that you use 2 or 3 even if you've got a big problem. But let's say you didn't get that done. Okay, I realize a percent of the acres aren't going to get that done. So here's option 2 for you. What we would say is we want a residual herbicide and a contact killer put together as early in the season as possible. So the first thing we'll talk about is Anthem. That's a combination of Zidua and Cadet. Now Zidua, if you're not familiar with that, it's the same chemical family, group 15, as Dual or Outlook that also could be used in soybeans. So basically when I say Zidua, just understand I'm fine if you want to use Zidua, if you want to use Outlook, if you want to use Dual. They're all very, very similar. They have no burn down activity. They have some residual, and I say some, not great residual, because we're not using the full rate that you might in corn. Okay, so we're going to use a reduced rate in soybeans. Well, if you're going to use a reduced rate and you're going to expect 100% season-long control, good luck, never going to work. And not only that, but these products are not the greatest ever on any of the small-seeded broadleaves like kochia, lamb's quarters, all these small-seeded broadleaves that we're having a tough time killing with Roundup. So I'm just trying to undersell you on this whole thing and just understand, hey, yep, I can use these. They'll give me some residual, like Warrant is another one. I can use Zidua, Outlook, Warrant, Dual. Any of them, same chemical family, give me a little bit of activity, and they do give me some residual. And then throw together with it the Cadet or FlexStar or something like that. That gives you the burn down activity.
All right, so I've had a number of farmers over this winter tell me, you know, I got to cut some costs. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the pre. Maybe I'm going to do Warrant or one of those options afterwards instead. And there's nothing wrong with Warrant. It's fine to be used as part of a program. Like Brian said, we don't want to be oversold with those things, thinking we're going to get great control and have these high expectations for that alone. But the thing that I would say is, wow, if you have to use some of those products post, like let's just take Anthem for example, it's not cheap. It's going to cost you some money. It's probably going to cost you as much as using that good pre-emerge program. So we like that combination. That would be the best if you can use pre-emerge residual herbicides and the post-emerge residual herbicides. Now you've got a pretty good 1-2 punch there to try and extend your residual control window.
Well, the thing is, you're probably going to end up spending $12, $15 on this combination of a group 15 and something like a Cadet, FlexStar, Cobra, one of those products that you're going to throw with it. You're going to get more leaf burn also when you throw that other product with it to get the burn down, but that's all you can do. So you say, all right, I can do that. Yeah, great. But now you have even fewer options later because you're going to want to spray a little bit later post-emerge as well. Well, you can only spray FlexStar 1 time per season. All right, then you're probably going to go with Cobra or you're probably going to go with Cadet or something like that. I mean, you just really start running out of options real fast. But again, if you didn't get that pre on, hey, this is a lot better than nothing. So we want you to get out there with the residual. We like the Anthem because it's a combination. It's already got the Zidua together with the Cadet. Otherwise, you can mix your own, or you can use Dual or Outlook or Warrant along with something else, but get some kind of combination out there so you get residual, you get burned down. Do it as early as possible because these products aren't very good on weeds that are up very tall.
The other question that we get a lot is, well, if I'm doing these products, do I really need to add any Roundup with them because it doesn't have activity on my pigweed anyway? Well, hold on. Roundup still controls an awful lot of weeds out there. And you may think, okay, pigweed's definitely my major weed, and you're probably right. That may be your very biggest weed. But let's just say that those other products that you're using get 80 or 90% control of that. All of a sudden, that really thins out those pigweeds. Now that allows the other weed species to get coming again. And when we're looking at Roundup, hey, it's going to kill some grasses out there for you and some broadleaf weeds. So it's an excellent tank mix partner for any of these other products that you're using in Roundup Ready soybeans.
And it's cheap. But the thing is, we would just tell you, don't use the drift reduction nozzles if you want the best performance out of a Cadet, an Anthem, FlexStar, any of these products. You're way ahead to use flat fan nozzles. And again, I would say make sure you're spraying when the weeds are small.
One of those weeds you don't want to let get too big is our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?